Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts, and it is Friday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Just trying to find my feed on my Facebook page. Today we're going to be doing a quick fun fold using one of the new products that is out right now from Stampin' Up. Here we go. This product is Hello Irresistible. It's a special release from Stampin' Up. And there are coordinating dies and a stamp set. I just have the paper and the loose frosted dots. And it's obviously very popular because it's not available right now, but it will be back in stock. So some of these special releases are available while quantities last, and some of them will carry over for a longer period of time. So we're not really sure, but this paper is very beautiful. And this paper has a sneak peek of two returning colors. Let me see, Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. So just to give you an idea of what the paper looks like, it looks like it's Resist, but it's not. And the coordinating colors are Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, Pretty Peacock, and Soft Seafoam. So here is some of the fronts and backs. It's just really pretty. Very soft. I really like this one. Some beautiful leaves. We could have used this one, but we're using a different one. You can see all the different designs. There's a die in the dies that looks similar to this. Really pretty. And this one, there's one of these flower ones that the dies will cut out as well. But you could always fussy cut it. It's not pretty. This would make a really pretty card where you see both sides of the designer series paper. And this looks like Pretty Peacock. This one has almost all the colors in it. That's really gorgeous. Oh, I like that. That must be Flirty Flamingo. This is the one we're going to be using today. Hey, Pat. And there's another one of similar to one we just saw, but with more of the Flirty Flamingo maybe. No, not Flirty Flamingo. Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. You can see the difference in the color choices. So let's get started on our card. I might have missed a few, but you get the idea. So it's not available right now, but it will be available again. I'm also using this die from the Queen Bee die set. So this is in the mini catalog, and this year the mini catalog only goes until the end of April. They've changed up the catalogs, so the annual catalog and the mini catalog both end the end of April. And then there won't be another mini catalog until August, I believe, or September, for 4 months. September, October, November, December, September. And the annual catalog will launch on May 1st. So that's exciting. It's always fun to see what's in the new catalog. Also, for this new catalog, we know that there will not only be the 5 new in colors, but they're having a color refresh. And a color refresh means that some of the colors we have in our subtles, brights, neutrals, and regals will be going and replaced with sometimes returning colors and sometimes brand new colors. They just want to keep it fresh. That's why it's called a color refresh and on trend. So let's get started on our card. We have a base of basic white that's 11 by 5.5, and it's scored at 8 1/4 and 4. And here's how I figured out how to do this. I knew I wanted 4 1/4 in the middle because that's the regular card, and so that left me with a certain amount, and then I just divided it so that I had a piece that is, I don't have my ruler. Four and 2 3/4. I probably could have figured that's 4 because it's almost the same size. Okay, then I have cardstock. Now it says soft seafoam. I don't think this is a perfect match to soft seafoam, but once you get it all put together, it's very pretty. So we have our 2 pieces of cardstock that are 2.5 by 5 1/4 and 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Then we have our 2 pieces of Designer Series paper that are 2 1/4 by 5 and 3.5 by 5. And then we have this little piece which was just left over because this is 6 by 6 paper, so I didn't want to waste it, so I'm going to put it inside my card here. And I didn't even cut it. I'm just going to glue it and snip it off. So let's go ahead and do that because otherwise I'll forget for sure. So I won't put glue right to the bottom, but pretty close. Is anyone doing anything fun for St. Patrick's Day? I'm going over to my sister's and we're having Irish stew because we are Irish, partly Irish, from County Cork, which I've actually been to. There we go. So that's really just for interest. So let's go ahead and put this one on. And the dies that we're going to use today are from the Artistic dies. I might have the name wrong. It's a big long branch of leaves. I just thought this leaf will look really nice with this leaf, seeing as I don't have the dies that go with this set. Sometimes you just find something in your craft room that's going to work. So it doesn't look like it has a right side up or a wrong side, so we're just going to go like that. And then we can put these 2 together. That's really pretty as well. Anyone else in their craft room today? It's kind of miserable here, but I'm not complaining because it's raining instead of snowing. I'm in Ottawa, Canada, and honestly, every day this week we've had snow, and I'm kind of sick of it. Our winters are very long, and my daughter's out in Vancouver visiting our son, so she's sending me pictures of the ocean. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So it's pretty so far, and I'll show you this one little thing I added at the last minute. And where's my sentiment gone? I always do this. Oh, it's on the floor. There we go. And here are the dies called Artistic dies. So I'm using this big long one. And when I first cut it out, my idea was just to have it swoop down, but it looked too big. So I did cut it, and I'll show you how I did that. All right, so then we have, my idea is to have some little branches, not this many. I'll decide which ones I like. My little sentiment, I did Best Wishes from Cottage Rose. I love the sentiment. It's so perfect for everything. Now this does hang over, so you can have it over a little bit, so we'll see how we want to do it. And then this was just sitting on my desk when I came over, so I thought, that might look cute actually. Just putting this little polka dot vellum, and that's part of that vellum pack that has polka dots, stripes, and leaves. Actually, the leaves would have been really pretty as well, but I didn't think that far ahead. Then I have some crinkled seam binding that I've taken my Stampin' Blend dark soft seafoam and colored it ahead of time and tied a nice bow. Now this time of year, everyone's anticipating what's going to be new in the catalog, but also lamenting over what we might lose. And I'm hoping that we do not lose crinkled seam binding. It's one of the easiest ones to color. It ties beautiful bows, and it's just a really nice ribbon. It's a really nice weight. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to your cards. So I'm hoping that this one stays. Who knows though? Who knows? So the loose frosted dots, so these are not adhesive. They were very popular though. And they don't really have the color that I'm looking for, so I might use something else. I did have the opal rounds, and although this is not soft succulent, I think it'll work. So speaking of these, the 2021 to 2023 in colors will be going, unless they end up in the color refresh. So that means pale papaya, fresh freesia, polished pink, soft succulent, and evening evergreen will be going away. And these for sure. I don't even know if these are still in the catalog, but they're perfect for what I'm working on. So if you have those stamp pads and don't have the ink refills or the paper to coordinate with it, get it now. Those are the things that will sell out before the retirement list comes out at the end of the month, because people know those are going to be going away. However, I really like these two greens, so I'm hoping that maybe they'll end up in the neutrals. What do you guys think? They're just so, I've used them so much, especially at Christmas, and the two of them are just so complimentary. They're really, really nice. The other ones I didn't use as much, although it kind of comes and goes. Depends on what season of cards you're working on as well. In Christmas, obviously, I wasn't using these ones quite as much, maybe this one, but soft succulent and evening evergreen for sure. So make sure that you have the ink refillers and the markers or the blends, whatever came in that color family that you want to make sure you have a stash of. And the design, not the designer series paper, but yes, the designer series paper, the cardstock, So I did a couple of branches, trying to figure out how these go. So it went like this, and then I trimmed off right down at the connection there, and then just made sure it looked good. And then I did one in vellum as well. I just have a little piece of it left. Now when I'm using vellum and another color, I usually make sure that the vellum is not on the bottom. And for this one, I think I'll probably add 3 pieces and the vellum will be in the middle. But for sure, no, not for sure. I do want to use this piece of vellum as well. I'm just deciding whether I'm going to put glue and then dimensionals, or dimensionals and then glue. And you want to do it before you put adhesive on your vellum so that you can see where it's going to be, so it hides the glue that you see, any glue that you see. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there and decide. So the other fun thing about this card, so it's going to open like this, and then you write your sentiment here. This card, you have room for a lot of sentiment. Sometimes you need a card like that. Sometimes you just need a little quick. So we can put it this way, or we can move it more this way so it overlaps, and that looks kind of pretty, but I like it like that. So that's the bigger one. Then I have a smaller vellum. And then I could put another big one. That's a little bit too much, I think. Now, the way I've done it is kind of like it was before, one big swoop, but I kind of like it. Just laying it out to see how I want it. And then my bow. I like that. So now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to glue this and then pop up the vellum. So we have that. So I'll get a couple of dimensionals. I agree, Pat. I use those all the time. Soft succulent is just so pretty. So now I know where I wanted this. I'm going to use glue dots to make it go exactly where I want it. And the one thing good about glue dots is you can pop a few up here. You can use glue as well, but let's see if I remember how I did this and where I want it to end up, which is kind of important. So I'm going to have a little bit hanging over, and I'm just going to make sure that I might need to move that one. I'm just going to move it now in case. I wonder if it's moved. Yeah, it is easier to move off vellum. I just remembered if I want to have it hanging over, I can't put it too close to the edge. Okay. There we go. And I think I'll put another glue dot there. Now I'll put my vellum one. You can see I have a little bit still of glue dot there because I want it a little bit to the left. And let's see. Yeah, that's good. And where all these glue dot blobs are going to be under this, so I don't really need to worry about it. And sometimes if you just take one glue dot and glue dot down one of the top ones, which is what I'm going to do, it holds the other ones in place. So what I'm doing is I'm rolling my glue dot because I want to be a little more precise, and I want to put it right like that. And this one actually, yes. Okay, have an idea for that one. So now I'm going to take my best wishes. So I've adjusted my dimensional so that I don't have one right at the edge, so I can have this hanging off a little bit. And then I'll take my bow, and again using a glue dot. Glue dots are your friend. I'm going to put it, you don't want to cover up the sentiment too much. That's fine. You can still figure out what it says. And I think this might look pretty right in here. I'm just wondering, like having it just hanging there, is that a good idea? And I'm going to use white glue and use it very sparingly. So a tiny little bit. I could use my fine tip pen if I had it anywhere near me, but I'll just be careful because this glue does spread out, and although it dries clear, it still looks a bit messy. So I'm just putting tiny, tiny little dots, and it can go over here a little bit because we have a little bit of room to play with. I'm going to put it right up to the edge, trying to make sure I didn't get too much excess glue because it will glue my card shut, and that's not ideal. Okay, I think we're almost good to go. So here are the dimensions. 11 by 5.5 is our base, scored at 8 1/4 and 4. Then our cardstock, which I use soft seafoam, 2.5 by 5 1/4 and 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then our designer series paper, which is called Hello Irresistible. Not available right now, but it'll be back in stock. 2 1/4 by 5 and 3.5 by 5. And I'm just going to take a few of these. They're a little bit darker, but I think they're pretty. The one thing about these ones that are more clear, like glass-like, they kind of pick up the color of whatever you put them with. Okay, that's good. All right. Best wishes with the Irresistible. I've forgotten already. Hello, Irresistible. So again, these are limited time offerings from Stampin' Up. So hopefully they will continue with some of these products, but you just never know. Now the other thing you could do is add Wink of Stella to one of these branches, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to just leave it like it is. Sometimes you just have to step away from the card. Okay, quick and easy fun fold today. Like I said, this one's great, especially if you want to include like a family photo or just more of a message than some cards that just leave you a little bit of room for your sentiment. So that's my card for today. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it if you like or share my video. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you'll know next time I post a video. All right, quick and easy Friday. I will be back next week, and oh my gosh, I have the most adorable little gnomes to show you. Even though the gnome dies are currently unavailable, they are supposed to be back in March 27th. And I just want to show you some cute little things that I've been working on with the gnome dies. So next Friday, or if I cannot wait, I might pop on a little bit earlier and show you those because they're really, really cute. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.